Hey, what's up, gun nuts? It's Ferrari Steve, and today I'm going to walk you through changing out the guide rod, or the recoil spring guide, however you want to call it, on a Sig Sauer P220. I've got here from American National Firearms their Black Diamond stainless guide rod. And their Black Diamond one is supposed to be slightly different than, I guess, their regular one, in that the coating is super smooth. And apparently having a super smooth coating makes the guide, the recoil spring, work a little more smoothly. I don't know. I gotta be honest, I'm kind of skeptical about this one. I didn't pay for it, and so I'm willing to try it out and see whether or not it's going to be a worthwhile, whether this modification is going to be qualified as an upgrade or not. I guess time will tell. Those who've watched my other modification videos know that I call a modification an upgrade if it improves the functionality of the weapon for how you use it, and therefore one man's upgrade might be another man's downgrade. But I'm open-minded. I'm open to being convinced. Like I said, I'm skeptical and cynical, but I'm that way by nature. Maybe that's a good thing. So anyway, let's do a quick safety check. Already ejected the magazine on the 220, but I still like to visually and manually inspect, make sure the gun is clear, and it is. We're going to take it back open. We're going to strip it. I've got a field stripping video for the 220 if you want to watch that. Take out the old one. I'm not going to take the barrel out since we're going to be putting it back together anyway. Now we'll take out the old rod here. Maybe. There it goes. And before we put it together, let's do a little side-by-side comparison of these two, right? So geometry-wise, they look identical, which is a good thing. Also, geometry-wise there, they look identical, which is a good thing. Yeah, I can tell this is heavier than the stock one. Just how much? Well, let's find out. Again, don't tell my wife I used her kitchen scale. Let's zero it out, and let's do the stock one first. 0.5 ounces. 1.1 ounce, so over double the weight of the stock one, right? 0.5. Yep. Okay. So yeah, those who are arguing that having one of these gives you some sort of advantage because of weight, we have proven that this is heavier. So I guess we can be open to believing that that can help. The argument is recoil-wise, it's going to help you get the gun back on target because the front end is heavier. And again, I don't know if I'm convinced about being slippery enough to let the spring slide any faster. I mean, this does feel smoother. I'm going to give it that. I think you can tell shine-wise, it's shinier. But this, this has been used, and it kind of machines itself over time, and it doesn't feel unsmooth. So I don't know about that one. Anyway, on the SIGs, they paint the end that goes toward the catch end here. So that's always nice to know. And again, this is green, meaning this spring is designed for hotter loads, plus P loads in the 220. We'll put it back in. And because it is one of those green springs, it takes a little more shoving to get it into place, but you get there eventually. Okay. Okay, well, I mean, yeah, I guess I feel it a little, pulling forward a little bit more. As to whether or not it's going to shoot any better, I'm going to go shoot it, and then I'll do a follow-up video to tell you. Now, one of the things I'm also going to test, because the internals of a P220 happen to be identical for a 226 or a 220, and I just happen to have a couple 226s. In fact, I've got a 226 Mark 25, and I have an which is like a 2012, 2013 model, and then I've got a 1987 P226 as well. I'm interested to see if it's going to affect these, and in fact, I'm interested to see if it's going to affect one versus the other, because this being the stamped slide and this being the milled slide, the balance of these two guns is different from one another. And so I'm going to try this this new American National Firearms stainless guide rod in all three guns to see if it makes any difference. I think if it is going to make any difference, it might make a difference in the balance in these two. And in fact, this 226 is kind of new to me, and so I'm going to get a lot of rounds through it first, so I'm kind of comfortable with it, and get comfortable enough so that I can tell a difference between shooting both of them. And then I'm going to put it in both of them and this guide rod in both of them and see if it changes the balance. If I like one of these better, I'm going to see if that guide rod moves that balance closer to the one that I do like better. So that'll be interesting. I'll wear my GoPro at the range, and we'll do a follow-up video to see if this in fact makes any difference. So it's too early for me to say whether this is an upgrade or a downgrade. It's a modification. It might make no difference at all. These aren't really that expensive anyway. It's 20 bucks. So if you just like blinging out your gun, you know, it makes it shiny and reflective there. You know, if it's worth $20 a bling to you, great. You know, that's a few rounds of ammo, right? But if you want to see whether or not it's going to make a difference and upgrade the gun for you, make it more functional for how you use it, then I guess it's worth a try, and you can decide and leave in the comments if you have any experience with it. And I'll come back and update this video or put it in the comments when I do the follow-up video to show how that thing shoots. This is Ferrari Steve thanking you for watching, reminding you that a dirty gun's a happy gun. Get out there and use them, take care of them, train yourself so that the first time you have to use a gun is not the first time you have used a gun. Stay safe out there.